I'm the shy type, so calm down. You know I can stand it. The screaming, I don't get it. Always so damn angry. You're the shy type, that's nice. You can stand it either. The screaming for no reason. They are always angry. You are so lonely, I get it. We can be lonely together. We can be lonely forever. You are so awkward, I get it. We can be awkward together. We can be awkward forever. We don't need no words, you get me. Without no talking, you know just where my heart is. We don't need no words, you get me. Without no talking, you know just where my heart is. Where my heart is, 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 where my heart is. Up the sky, I see the clouds. Time is moving slowly. I can breathe now. Come down. I think I belong here. You are so awkward, I get it. We can be awkward together. We can be awkward forever.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corsos Podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
What's up, everybody? We back for another one. I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope everybody made it back intact and everything is good. We're getting ready to go into some holidays. So yeah, tonight we have a guy who I kind of consider him to be what I would call a shark when it comes to this dog breeding game and things like this, y'all. Everybody, welcome Raul of QBN Kennel in tonight. How you doing, brother?
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we've been trying to put it together, and we finally did it.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Man, Raul, will you give everyone just a brief introduction to who you are and what you do?
Sure, man. My name is Raul Fagundes from QBN Kennels. I've been breeding American Bullies for the last 10 years, in particular, the American Bully XL class. I'm a dog lover. I'm a genetics fanatic, connoisseur, learning on my own. I'm not a geneticist or anything like that, but I feel that my medical background, I am a nurse, gives me just a little bit, just enough to where, you know, I could delve into genetics and whatnot. And that's pretty much it, man. We've been doing it for 10 years. I just love being around dogs and around the bully community as well.
Yeah, you out of Texas, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cleveland, Texas.
Cleveland, Texas. All right.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I can tell they're gonna have a lot of questions for you. I'm looking at this chat, man. Golly. Hey, man.
Good.
So you do the bully. Can you just kind of give us a origin of the bully and how it derived?
Well, the story goes that a gentleman by the name of Dave Wilson started mixing dogs to create what he called a bullier dog. At the time, his concept, now I'm paraphrasing what he states or he stated in the past, he wanted a bulkier, more bulkier square type of at the time he was mixing pit bull terriers with Staffordshire terriers. This, I'm guessing, is somewhere around the late 80s, early 90s. By 2004, well, let me rewind. Before that, there was something called the Atomic Dog magazine.
Okay.
Back in the days, I remember seeing it every now and then. And that was kind of like the internet of the time, in that it gave the information as to what was going on with this new breed and who are the breeders behind it and what are they producing and that sort of stuff. By 2004, Dave Wilson founded the ABKC, which is the American Bully Kennel Club. By that time, what he had started out with, which was pit bull terriers and staffies, had been starting to get influxed with bulldog traits or bulldog breeds that had been brought into the breed. The breed is kind of different than most breeds in that we have different classes, right? So you have the pocket class, which is the smallest size. Then you have the standards and you have the XLs. You fast forward till now. They just finished doing the ABKC Nationals.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years that the breed has been in existence. Stud books are still open. We're still developing. I decided about 6 to 8 months ago, I decided to pivot because I was breeding the American Bully XL, which had been infused with Mastiffs, or has been infused with Mastiffs, and even Cane Corsos on certain occasions and whatnot. And, I'm not a purist. I understand this breed is developing, but I find no room for Mastiffs to be crossed with what we currently have. In fact, I really like what I'm seeing out of our standard class, which has very little to no Mastiff whatsoever. And I kind of want to bring that to the XL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's funny. You said that. So when they would breed that Corso in, that's what will make it an XL bully, correct?
Yeah, they were crossing it with taller dogs. I mean, in some instances, I'm not even going to lie to you. I've been to some dog shows where, they'll bring a dog in and you look at it and it's like, damn, that looks like a Great Dane with an American Bully, cropped ears. And I won't put it past them. I won't put it past it. Breeders, no matter the breed, not just the American Bully XL, they're always looking for a shortcut. They're always looking for a way to get results. And unfortunately, with the XL class, they mix and match a little too much.
Right. Man, when they do that, what is the temperament like? I know, like in my breed, we have some breeders that we got some temperament issues across the board. I know y'all probably have the same too, but in general, what is the temperament supposed to be like?
Well, the American Bully is a companion breed. This is not a working dog. This is not a sports breed. I mean, the dog can do sports, can do many things, but that's the main reason it was bred was to be a companion. Therefore, the temperament has to be one of, even keel, calm, cool, collected. You don't want a dog that has high prey drive, that's going to react on a dime when it sees a squirrel run in front of it, anything like that. Mm-hmm. The American Bully in general, I would say, is a dog that typically, and I could tell you because I do it every day with my dogs in the yard, they usually look up at me almost as if they're asking for permission before they go off and do something. They're excellent family dogs, excellent with kids, excellent with elderly. Recently, I took one of my dogs to an elderly home. They couldn't believe. At first, they were all scared because, the muscle mass and this and that. But once they saw the dog's personality, and it's just like a big baby type situation.
Right. Well, Big Dog family, if y'all ain't met Raul before, I kind of just ran across him, man. And y'all gonna go to his channel. You're gonna hear a lot of different things that you probably can use that we don't hone in on. Like, I like the fact that you can, like, you talk about the front, breeding for the front, all kind of stuff, head type, and
Yes.
you're really specific on that. And you also have a membership site, right? Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. We do lives just like you do.
Right.
And we go live every Monday at right now we're doing at 7 p.m. CST. If y'all don't mind, if you hear me a little hoarse, I've been a little bit under the weather.
Right.
We go live every Monday at 7 p.m. CST. And what we do is we answer member questions live. And that doesn't mean that if you're a non-member, I'm not going to answer your questions, but because there's a time limit, I make sure that all member questions are answered. So if I got to skip non-member questions, then if we have to do that, we will.
Right. Yeah, so they go through everything on there. Really good show. And I got to make sure I stay off that time slot because ain't nobody gonna come watch me.
No, man, you're doing good, man. I'm looking at you, man. You're doing very well.
Oh man, we tried, man. Hey, so Raul, what is your personal philosophy on breeding, the ethics, responsibilities, and goals?
Look, man. Recently, I had a talk with a good friend of mine. This friend of mine I'm talking to you about, he's a trucker. He watches everybody's lives, including yours, mine, and everybody else's. And we were having a conversation. And I know recently you interviewed my guy Alex Gontas on the very thing. I was getting hit up by these fur moms, right? That, why are you breeding? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And even though I'm in a position where, I feel that they take it a little bit too far, I also feel that they're necessary. I feel that ethically, any dog that you breed, you are responsible for. So what I mean by this, if you're going to breed and you're going to sell puppies, you need to make sure that you're vetting the people that are getting your pups. You need to make sure that there's a contract in place that will allow you to supersede this owner if that dog ever ends up in a shelter, if it ever ends up in a bad situation, that sort of thing. I truly believe that, if you breed dogs like I do, I don't have whelpers that come in and whelp my litters, none of that. Everything that we do is in-house. Everything that we do, I touch. All right. We're a family-owned business, and that's how we're going to keep it. Therefore, every puppy that leaves my yard is an extension of my family. It's an extension of my yard. So much so that I have so many people that send me videos of their dogs when they're watching, a video of mine, and the dog is all happy and he recognizes my voice and he or she's looking at the screen and it's like, yeah, I know that place. I was there. That's what it's about, man. Too many times people look at breeding as a means to make income. And don't get me wrong, man. I've always stated this is a business because I do sell my dogs. Right. I don't give my dogs away for free. Learn my lesson really quick. But at the same time, man, you got to do what's best for the dogs, because when you do what's best for the dogs and you take care of them, they're going to turn around and take care of you.
That's right. Yeah. That great answer. And you mentioned truckers. I don't know if any of you fellow podcasters out there know that's one of our biggest audiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been hit up by many of them, man. I love your show and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. You mentioned family. What role does the family? I know mine is instrumental. My wife is probably the most hands-on person with my dog, with all
Yeah.
our dogs. And how has that been, and what's the process like with the family involved?
Man, let me tell you, it's just my wife, my daughter, and I.
Mhm.
My wife is the backbone of the entire operation.
But yeah,
Don't let me showing up and being the face and the voice fool you.
right.
You know, I had a
Same.
military accident years ago.
Mhm.
All the kennels that we have out back, she's the one that welds. I can't be around metallic gases due to the injury that I had. So she does all the welding. She helps me with all the construction, everything that you see in our videos we made by hand. Not only that, one thing about my wife is she'll look at a pup and she'll say, "I'm seeing a high rear." And it's like, man, when she says she's seeing a high rear,
Mhm.
she's got a better eye than me by far. I mean,
Right.
don't get me wrong. I'm seeing, I'm looking at the pups and whatnot, but when she sees it and she says it, man, you could pretty much put a stamp on it.
Mhm.
My daughter was very instrumental when I was getting my YouTube going. She was my cameraman, and every now and then she would come out on a video. She was always too shy to want to come out. She, along with my wife and myself, we have easily been through, I want to say, anywhere between 15 and 20 dog births. Uh, you know, uh, whelping the pups, doing the whole thing.
Mhm.
Right now, my daughter is going to nursing school, so now she can't, be as hands-on as she once was.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, she was very instrumental in getting my channel going, as well as my wife, and you know, that
Excellent.
very
Yeah.
instrumental. My
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, man. I felt that when you was talking about your wife, because I can come home and I can ask my wife, about the puppy's personality, temperament, and the way she goes through them. Something about that woman nurturing them puppies, man, is just on another level, brother. It is.
It
Yeah.
is, man, and like I said, with my wife and faults, like she could spot a fault from a mile away. And usually the way it works is I'm kind of on the fence, and then she shows up and she's like, "Yeah, no, this is this and that's that." Oh, thank you. That's exactly I
Yeah.
needed. I
Yeah.
needed that to either push me on one side or the other side of the fence.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's important. What's in that whelping box and raising these dogs from. I know my wife. She says, "Oh, you just like your mother." I know. It's just funny to see her react how she does with the puppies, like she would our children.
Mm.
Um, Let me ask you this one, brother. Um, Selection of breeding pairs. When I'm gonna ask you these series of questions, I want you to just kind of give your answers in as far as tips, because I ain't got you here all day. Hopefully, I can do more shows with you. But selection of breeding pairs, criteria and considerations with with the American Bully.
Um, Look, man, phenotype is important.
Mhm.
It is. If you're going to be pairing dogs together, whether you're line breeding them or you're outcrossing or whatever it is that you're going to do, being able to identify the phenotype, right? And phenotype, as we all know, is what you see on the outside. So if you're going to be doing a breeding and you're seeking, for example, correct fronts, you cannot only hone in on correct front.
Mhm.
If, say, for example, you have a male that has everything you like, he's got a nice head, good top line, good rear angulation, but he's east west up front.
Mhm.
And you have a female in your yard that she is perfectly correct up front. She has an H frame, looking nice and precise.
Mhm.
You cannot stop there. You need to look at her head. You need to look at her top line. You need to look at her rear angulation, make sure temperaments match. And then that's how I would line them up phenotypically. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm a phenotypical breeder. I'm not. I'm not. In other words, I use phenotype as a tool, but that's not where I stop.
Right.
I continue forward with genetic testing. Okay, genetic health testing. We also look at something that's called the coefficient of inbreeding, right? The higher coefficient of inbreeding you have, the more prepotent you are. I'm sure Alex Gontas has talked to you about that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, right now, I actually just went through a 10-day intensive answer finding mission where I'm actually using the Embark DNA map, and I'm finding specific genes and where they are located in that map so that we could better pair for breeding. So say you want more bone in your dog. I can tell you where on chromosome 18 you want to see homozygosity, which in Embark it is used with, they use these bars. If you don't mind, I'll be more than happy to bring up an Embark screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay.
Of course, let's do it.
Okay, let me go ahead and bring it right up and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, hit the like button. If you're looking on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, get the like up.
There you go. So, for example, you see wherever you see orange, you're seeing homozygosity, right? And wherever you're seeing that light gray, it doesn't mean nothing is there. What it means is that's heterozygosity, meaning the pairs are different. They're not the same. Where it's orange, they are the same. They are the same. They're homozygotic.
Gotcha.
This particular chromosome right here, chromosome 18, has a particular gene in it. And depending where these little orange lines fall, if they happen to fall on top of that particular area, as of right now, what science is saying is that more likely than not, you're going to be getting more of what you're looking for. Now, I'm being very simplistic, guys. There's more to it than just chromosome 18. I'm going to be making a live tomorrow. Sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to do that plug-in, but I got to explain this.
Uh-huh.
There's on switches and off switches to this chromosome 18. So you can't just look at chromosome 18. You got to look at a variety of others. And that's going to tell you whether that dog is going to be able to push bone forward or not. This is something that, like I said, is something that I enjoy doing. I literally spent easily over 60 hours finding these fine-tuned answers that I'm looking for. And hopefully, this type of stuff, because of AI and how fast technology is moving forward, hopefully this stuff is made available. I'm definitely going to make it available, but made available through an app or something to where you could just easily match up two dogs and figure what your odds are of what you're going to be getting. So
do you use for mating, do you use a lot of progesterone testing? Y'all do a lot of natural or insemination?
Yeah. Actually, I don't do natural. We do artificial insemination, mechanical artificial insemination. And I learned from a long time ago, best thing to do actually is do surgical insemination, right? I'll do mechanical if my numbers are just too high and, it's one of them things I got to move fast. But we do progesterone testing here in house. So as soon as the bitch starts to bleed, we're going to pull blood. We usually wait about 3 or 4 days, pull blood again, kind of get an idea how fast she's coming up, and then base it off of there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Man, those machines in the house is a game changer, isn't it?
They are, man. When I bought mine, the little orange machine, little orange Chinese machine, it was like $2,400, bro. Now I look at Alibaba and Amazon, whatever, It's like
Yeah.
$650. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
technology is just, man, it's
Yeah.
just going so fast.
I ain't gonna lie. I ordered some stuff from Alibaba. I was like, dang, they got it on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you. This is my boy Sykes. What machine
Okay.
for progesterone?
It's a little orange machine here. Let me look it up
Okay.
and I'll show you. Orange. The reason I don't know the name is because these Chinese companies, they make up these wacky little names, and it's just it's impossible to remember. So let me go ahead and bring it up on the screen.
Okay.
And I'll share my screen with you. And there is. That's pretty much it. This little machine right here. Look, 416. Check it out. You got it 1,300 over here, 1,300, and then over here you got it for 416. Alibaba Express. So that's it, man. I don't know the exact name. All I know, I call it the little orange progesterone machine.
Yep. Pay a little shipping on it and save a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Make sure you get it in English, guys. I made the mistake. The original one I got was Chinese, and I had to end up selling it on Alibaba myself so I could get the English version. So make sure to do that.
Right. Let's go into some raising some puppies a little bit. Early development stages. What do you focus on in the first few weeks?
First few weeks,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't focus on anything. I'm letting mom handle the pups. I'm looking at the pups, making sure that they're eating, that no one is being left behind, that sort of thing. Usually when I start looking at them is when I take them off mom. Now, many breeders have their own techniques and whatnot. I take them off mom usually on day 24. Could be day 23, could be day 25, but usually around day 24. Okay. And at that point, I'm looking at them. And I'm looking at them because now I'm going to take you away from mom, and I'm going to put you in a place where mom is not around. And I want to see how you adapt to where I'm going to put you. So the next 10 days are pretty crucial. Also, I'm going to be looking at personalities. By the time they're 6 weeks old, we're going to start doing temperament tests. Simple things, man, like, get a metal plate, and while they're playing on cement, you drop it and let it make that loud noise. Now we're going to see who's going to cower. We're going to see who actually goes. If you got one that runs towards the metal plate and attacks it, that's not good. Yeah, right. Yeah. Typically what happens is everybody freaks out and they're going to look in that direction. You may have a couple that'll walk towards it. But I don't think I've ever seen a pup actually go and attack it. But I'm looking for the one that's going to cower, because the one that's going to cower is going to need a lot of work. And if by the time they're 10 weeks old, I don't feel comfortable, they're not going to be going into anybody's home, because we know that dogs usually attack based on aggression or fear. And so you might not have a pup that attacks the metal plate, but if you got one that cowers, you have to be very careful with that.
Who's the most important piece to the program, the male or the female?
The breeder.
Well, that's the first.
The breeder. What you got between your ears, that's what matters. There's many ways to skin a cat, bro. You can run an entire program around a male. You can run an entire program around a female. It's what you got between your ears and how you apply it. Yeah.
Right. Good answer, man. That's
me personally. I'm a firm believer in the female. Why? You have mitochondrial DNA that the males don't have. You have it's just my theory. I feel the females give more than the males do. Why? Because a male is an X and a Y. We all know that Y typically isn't as concentrated, right? So there is no mitosis with that Y chromosome, right? Or at least that's what's been thought of. Me personally, I always tend to the female, but I've seen people do it with the males, and they have a thriving program. So,
Right.
because
Y'all culture is a little bit different. Y'all y'all do a lot of stud advertising. It's a little different than ours. We do too, but like it seems like in the bully world, the stud is more of the popular dog. You know what I mean?
here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, and it goes for any community.
Mm-hmm.
You have the market,
right?
And the market is wowed over these, big dog, and the male is always going to wow them, right?
Yeah.
But the breeders in this community know, or we have, and I'm going to speak in general terms, not everyone, but good majority. We all feel that the female is the one that runs the show. We know it. There's an old saying that the female's going to run your yard, but the male's going to sell your pups. And that's because of the wow factor.
That's right. Right. I'm pretty sure y'all facing some challenges in the breed. What kind of challenges stand out the most regarding the totality of the breed? And is it anything you could suggest to fix those issues that y'all might have?
Bro, we have a lot of issues in our breed,
Okay.
like many do and many others.
Yeah.
One of the things I feel that we have an issue, one of the main issues I feel we have is until recently, we actually had the registry come out with a standard, I want to say about 2.5 to 3 years ago, with an illustration that says, I don't care what class you got, this is what an American bully is supposed to look like. Now, mind you, this breed has only been around 20 years, man. We're still evolving, right? And we have different classes. And if you go back 5 years ago, that same registry had a different picture for each particular class. So what ends up happening is the message from when I started breeding has changed to a different dog than what was being shown to me when I first started. I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
Oh yeah, it makes a bunch of sense. Yeah.
Right. So when you start, that every 2 years equals a generation, because that's how long a female takes to grow, mature, and be ready to breed. So here you are 2 or 3 generations in, and all of a sudden you're changing a picture on me. You're saying, okay, this is what American Bully is supposed to look like. So now you're forcing me to pivot. Not just me. I'm talking about breeders in general. We've invested in these dogs. We've followed things to a particular standard, and now you changed it on us.
Yeah.
The other thing, for example, I feel we should be coming up on is our stud books are open. Mm-hmm. So what that means is you could bring a dog to the ABKC, and as long as they register your dog as an American Bully, it can be bred to our breed, whether it is an American Bully or not. The stud book is open. Stud book is open.
Right. And your expertise, when breed clubs change the standard, why do you think so?
Well, you just hit on something that maybe I didn't explain, and I'm glad you brought it up. Okay. ABKC, or let me rewind, the American Bully, until recently, as far as my knowledge, they just had their first breed club with the UKC, and they just rewrote the UKC standard.
All right.
I don't see a breed club that is interacting directly with the ABKC that I'm aware of. They very well could be doing it behind the curtain, but that I'm aware of. That's not the case so far. I'm sure they're working on that.
Mhm.
So when the registry was changing the standard, there wasn't a breed club that was making the recommendation.
Mhm.
That's what makes the American Bully, in my opinion, not just unique, but when you're here breeding this particular breed, it makes it somewhat volatile because there's no checks and balances.
Mhm.
There's no breed club, checking the registry at this
Right.
moment.
Right. What pushed the popularity of the breed where it exploded like that?
Oh, that's a simple answer, bro.
What's that?
Urban American culture. You
Okay.
see, when think about it, this breed started out with Staffies and Pit Bull Terriers who
Uh-huh.
were already representing the inner city,
Mhm.
urban America, right?
Right.
And in addition to that, I don't know if Dave Wilson, the founder of the breed, or how that came about, but the Atomic magazine, it was, if you ever get a chance, check them out. It was like a rap scene, and at the same time, this new breed's coming in. So it really embraced urban American culture, in my opinion, man. I wasn't there at the time, but in the early 90s, I was a teenager, and I remember hearing about the Atomic Dog magazine. In fact, I remember even hearing about Papa Pitt, right? Back in the days. I didn't know who he was, but I heard about him. And coincidentally, just recently I interviewed him, and he is just a wealth of knowledge for our breed. And
Okay.
he explains the same thing. The Atomic Dog magazine really put this breed not just on the scene, but it embraced urban American culture.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that makes sense because no matter how we get, that urban culture usually pushes the fashion, what's hot, what's not.
It's culture. It's our culture, man.
Yeah,
It's our
yeah, yeah.
culture. It's one of the reasons why I feel, one of the many reasons why I feel that the American Bully XL was banned in the UK. It's
Yeah, that's
because, I mean,
crazy. Yeah,
they had a lot of things going on over there, man.
yeah.
I could tell you because I was just in Ireland little over, I was in Ireland a year and a half ago. Um, I can tell you that in those neck of the woods, um, it almost seems like the governments are. It's cool. We love you, America, but like we want to keep you on a harness. I'm
Right,
talking about the urban American culture,
right.
because in those countries, believe it or not, they also have I call it the underworld, but they have organized crime and whatnot, and they typically want to embrace urban American culture.
Hmm.
So yeah, it could become a two-edged sword, man.
Yeah. Let's change gears here. Um, dog food. I know you did a series on Kibble. I never did get your final answer on that. But you went through a bunch of Kibble. Can you kind of go through that and your thoughts on the raw diet as well, Raul?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay.
So everybody knows I'm big into the raw diet. And the reason I got into the raw diet is because years ago I made a video where I was feeding Victor puppy, right? The teal bag. And out of nowhere, my pups all of a sudden started their legs started bending funny, started walking all weird. And that's the only thing I was feeding for years. And so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and switch them over. And I made the switch. Within 48 hours, everything cleared. Feet were straight, joints were back being strong. Uh, Everything that was going on wrong got fixed. So fast forward to now. This happened about 4 or 5 years ago. You fast forward till now, and I decided, you know what? Um, let's keep evolving. Let's not just say, hey, we arrived at raw and we know the barf diet. Let's stop here. No, let's keep evolving. So I started cooking food. And then I said, you know what? Why don't we test kibble? Why don't we do a kibble test? Just to, And we went ahead and did it. And we used Wholesome's, their fish formula. We used Victor Ocean Fish, I believe that's what it's called. And I used Diamond Naturals. Okay. I can tell you, man, within a week, I had to stop Diamond Naturals, bro. Dogs were pooping out pasty. And I have pea gravel inside of my cages on purpose. So when my dogs step, it helps with the strength of the pattern. Yeah. Well, when you got pasty poop, it doesn't do well with pea gravel, bro, because when you go pick it up, you're picking up more rocks than you're picking up poop, right? You get where I'm coming from. So we did away with Diamond Naturals, and I substituted in Sam's Club has a brand called Members Mark, salmon and sweet potato formula. Put the dogs on that. They calibrated really quick and did very well with that. The Victor Pacific, I felt the dogs did all right with it. The only bad thing is the price. It was like $72 a bag.
Yes,
right. And I'm like, dude, Members Mark is $40 a bag. You're over here at $72 a bag. It's like, it's just not making sense. Wholesome's, we've been using it already. And the dogs did all right, except my puppies. Right. And this is why I tell people all the time, and I learned my lesson years ago. You got to keep their protein low. People think that you got to feed high protein on pups. Man, you don't want to do that with medium to large breed, because my pups started to knuckle over. And that's because the Wholesome's is at 22% protein. And they were, when I was feeding raw, I always add in cooked rice or sweet potato or potato in order to reduce the protein content to 15%. I immediately, when I did that, they went back to being good. That's pretty much it, man. I've done many recipes on raw and barf, pretty much boring people by now, but every time I find something new, I'm always trying to evolve. I'm always trying to change it up. Right now, I'm trying to mix kibble with raw, right? And then I want to also do kibble with cooked and see if there's any differences. So we're always testing things out, bro.
Is there any such thing as, well, it probably is, but I'm gonna ask it, with allergies associated with raw dog food?
No. What I have found is, at least in my breed, the one thing, the majority of our dogs they're allergic to chicken, but in reality, they're not allergic to chicken. Let me explain.
Okay.
So we all know in America, right? Most capitalistic country in the world, they'll pretty much grow a chicken in, 35 days. From the moment it hatched to the moment it's slaughtered and you're eating it on your table. I'm just throwing a number out there. I don't know the exact data, but I know for a fact that we're putting hormones in it. We're putting antibiotics. We're putting steroids, the works. We're doing that. What ends up happening is all that stuff ends up on the fat layer, right on the skin and underneath on that first fat layer of the chicken. And when the dog consumes that, think about it, man. Wolves weren't made to have hormones and have all the crap where steroids we're sticking into chicken. So the dog's body doesn't know how to react to it. How do I know this? I'm going to tell you how I know it. Back when I started feeding raw to my dogs, I was actually feeding them, chicken livers. It's really important because the liver, as we all know, is one of the main filters that the body has, the liver and the kidneys. And I would have dogs break out and all sorts of things. And I didn't know what was going on. So I started taking off the skin off the chicken, but I didn't realize I was still feeding the liver. And it was still breaking out. So out of the blue, I said, you know what? Let's stop feeding the liver and let's substitute with a supplement, right?
Okay.
Next thing you know, they're eating the same chicken with no skin, and there's no allergic breakout.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so now you're not eating the chicken liver and you're
Right.
not eating the skin and everything's honky-dory.
Right.
Let's do a little research on this. This is why I tell you got to constantly be evolving. Then come to find out, yeah, that's where, the fat is where all these chemicals that they're putting in the chickens being stored. And then obviously organs such as, the liver is, it's trying to filter all this crap.
Right.
And so the minute we did that, we're good. And I really didn't want to feed anything else other than chicken. I'm going to tell you why. At Walmart at the time, I was able to buy a 10-pound bag of chicken livers for $3.72. You got chicken, you got bone, you got everything there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, long story short, that's how we figured it out, man.
Well, you had a real interesting take on garlic.
Yes.
It's probably a wide number of people that think garlic is very bad for dogs. What are your thoughts?
I think Big Pharma wants you to think that garlic is bad. And Big Pharma wants to make sure that when you go to Google, that's the first thing you see. And so if you're a little fur mom, you're a Karen, or you're somebody that doesn't do any type of research, you're going to follow exactly what it says there. Here's the truth about garlic, guys. Ever since I was a kid, I remember my grandmother feeding dogs garlic. They never had fleas. They never had anything. How is it that they were feeding garlic on a daily basis over there, but all of a sudden now it's a problem? I'm going to tell you why it's a problem. You go to the store and you buy a bowl of garlic. How much does it cost you? $1.15, $1.25. Right. And you have all these, you could get about what, 13, 15 tooth of garlic, right? Well, here's the deal. There was a university in Japan that did a study, and they actually fed a dog 13 garlic cloves. 13. Think about this.
Yeah.
Dog, I don't care how big a dog is. Well, maybe cane corsos are that big, but you get a bully that weighs 90 pounds and you feed him 13 cloves of garlic. I'm going to tell you right now, you feed me 13 cloves of garlic, or I feed you, Joe, 13 cloves of garlic. Not just woo, bro. You're going to have an allergic reaction. It's going to become toxic, bro.
Right.
It's too much, right? So they used that study to make it seem like, this is actually toxic for dogs. No, it's not. Now, I'm not going to sit here and speak dosages and things like that. I'm not a veterinarian. Do your research. Go online. I can tell you in my yard with my dogs, I feed 1 garlic clove per 100 pounds. Now, mind you, I don't just throw a garlic clove in their mouth. We either crush it or we're going to chop it up and we're going to let it sit for 15 minutes so it can react with air. Okay. And there's a particular thing in there that's called Allen that we want it to react with air and become allicin, which then is safe to give to dogs. That's simple. We don't have a flea in my yard. We don't have many things that my dogs could be getting simply because of garlic. Yeah.
Right. So you was talking about, you mentioned Big Pharma. What is your stance on the state of Big Pharma in the dog world?
Well, man, look, I got to rewind first and let you know. Well, I think I already said it. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse now close to 15 years. As a nurse, I've seen the role of Big Pharma. Right. And mind you, us humans, we have a voice. Yeah. Could you imagine what Big Pharma does to those that don't have a voice, like dogs? To me, for example, this over-vaccination, this whole thing where they we got to vaccinate your dog. Well, the vet, they have created this entire economic model around, we need medications and vaccinations for your dog. This is where I feel, I could be wrong, This is where I feel where the ASPCA is truly an arm to Big Pharma. Because if you think about it for a second, ASPCA pushes adopt, don't shop.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let me give you a little something on that. You buy a dog from me, you're probably going to get that first rabies shot, the DHP and all that stuff that goes with it. And then you're going to be getting a rabies shot after that, the one that they give you for every 3 years.
Right.
And that's it. Your dog's not going in because it's got this and it's got that. Look at it as Big Pharma's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a walking prophet for them. In fact, I'm exactly what they don't want. They don't want somebody to say, hey, I give garlic to my dogs. No, this is the dude we don't need talking to the masses, because we need them to be buying the stuff we sell. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So every time, bro, I see, ASPCA and all that talking about adopt, don't shop. Listen, I'm a dog lover.
Right.
I've rescued 4 dogs. I had to get rid of 2 of them, unfortunately, because they were trying to kill the other one. But right now we have 2 rescues because I love dogs and I don't want to see any dog going through anything. If it was up to me, they would all be rescued. Right. But the fact of the matter is there's very dark hands behind these organizations, and there's a lot of money behind them. If you don't believe me, go online right now. In fact, let's look it up right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
ASPCA president. ASPCA president salary. Right?
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk with the truth, man. Because anybody could be watching this. A Karen could be watching this, and they could be thinking, "Man, this dude. Look, you can't tell me an organization that saves dogs, dude, has a salary of $750,000 plus $276,000 in bonuses and $47,859 in benefits. You cannot tell me this is not a money-making organization. I could care less if they want to call themselves a nonprofit organization. Tell you what, when you go get a dog from them, what they call it, an adoption fee?
Adoption fee that you paying for the dog. Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. You don't think people within the ASPCA at those levels are making that type of money because they just love dogs?
Right.
No, bro.
Yeah. And then too, I know me and Alexander, we was talking about this the other day. They're shipping in dogs from other countries. Some dogs may have issues while they are in the position they're in, and the dog is being recycled.
That's exactly what they want. Think about it, man.
Mm-hmm.
They want a dog. Think about it. Who do they normally target? I'm gonna tell you who they normally target. They'll target little kids that go there with the mom and dad. That's great. But what they really want to target is the empty nesters. Those people that, had 3 or 4 kids, they all left for college, got married, whatever. Now they're alone. Mom and pops are looking at each other like, we need a dog. Now we go over there. When you get over there, they're going to give you this sad story. If you notice, every dog has a story because that's really what they're selling you. And next thing you know, they'll sell this empty nester, a dog that has to be dialyzed 3 times a week.
Yep. It's nuts.
Cha-ching. They just, trust me, bro. I was a dialysis nurse, aside from an ICU nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I know how much a dialysis treatment alone costs to insurance. So I can only imagine, what people have to pay out of pocket to get their dogs dialyzed.
Right. Man, that's crazy, man.
Now I'll say this. One of the reasons many breeders don't speak on this is because you have these groups. Karens, they walk around in groups of 40 and 50. They will shut your YouTube page down. They will shut your social media down in a heartbeat just because you're saying ASPCA is an arm of Big Pharma. But it is.
Yeah. And then too, a lot. It's I'm noticing that breeders are getting into rescues. I guess they get grants and different monies.
Bro, listen, they get the dog food they get typically is from a veterinary clinic
Mhm.
or that is giving it as a tax write-off. Okay, let's talk. You see, if you really want to get to the answer, you got to figure out how the money works.
Right.
So they're feeding dogs for free, essentially.
Yeah.
And each dog they get, they're selling. So this is not a dog you had a hand raise. This is not a dog you had to do any of that. This is a dog that you literally found in the street, you brought here, and now you're pushing it on grandma.
Wow.
Vaccines are tax write-offs or government grants, right? If you see breeders who we have been demonized because we're all after money, if you see them gravitating to rescues, what does that tell you?
You know what it is?
It's a better business than actually breeding.
It is. You can probably say I put some training on a dog and put them back out there and just start this refurbishing and recycling of these dogs that may be just too unfit. We have that problem in the Corso right now that some of these dogs are just mentally gone. It's a dangerous dog to put on in somebody's family.
In a family, right? This is exactly my point.
Right.
My point is, telling people adopt, don't shop. Look, I'm gonna tell you this. I use this example all the time. You're married. You have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Who are you bringing home? You're bringing a rescue who you don't know if it was beaten, attacked. You don't know that dog's history. Now, mind you, man, I wish all dogs would be rescued.
Exactly.
Let's keep it real. I'm not bringing a rescue home if I have a 3-year-old.
Right.
I'm not.
No.
Right?
No.
You much rather get a dog from a breeder. You're seeing him on camera, seeing his dogs on camera, seeing him on video, seeing how they interact. I can give you an example. I've had people with families, that are on my waiting list to get a pup from me. What do you think I do when I do a temperament test on the pups? We're going to video it.
Right.
We're going to show you. Right. We're going to show you. We're going to show you which pup is fit for you. And if there's one that isn't fit, then I'll try find myself a farmer or somebody that's willing to take a dog like that. If not, there is such thing as having a cull a pup, which means putting a puppy down. Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to make $1 off of every pup, including the ones that aren't fit, you're just going to set yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people haven't been speaking to this. I ain't never really heard nobody speak to it like you and Alexander. But guys, let's get some questions in. A few questions before we break up out of here and everything. But anyway, Raul, if a person came up to you and you had to tell him a few things about being a dog breeder, what would those few things be?
No vacation.
Woo! Yeah, you're right.
No vacation. You better make sure your significant other is on board. Otherwise, the pressure that's going to bring to your business, it's either going to break the business or it's going to break your relationship, one or the other.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, mom, she got to be on board because it is overwhelming at times. When you got a bunch of things, especially puppies on the ground. And, and your regular life, if you got children in it. I got young babies, so yeah. Let me ask you this: what are the most common misconceptions about your breed?
My breed, unfortunately, is looked at as pit bulls. The ignorant masses don't know nothing about nothing. Oh, that's a pit bull. That's a man killer. Blah, 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 blah. And all it is, I don't know, man, we're entering this time and place with social media where, people need to feel justified, right? They need to be able to wag the finger at something or someone, even if what they're talking about doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I've always said that social media makes a lot of people comfortable. I really wish we were somehow back in the 80s where you come around talking the wrong thing, you're about to get in a fight. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's just too easy to just wag your finger. So a lot of people will say that, oh, that's a pit. No, this is not a pit. That's a pit. I used to own a blue nose and a red nose, and you put them together and you get a purple nose. That's how you know they're ignorant. They don't know what they're talking
about. Yeah. Okay, guys, I see some questions. We're gonna do about 10 minutes of questions, and I'm gonna let Raul get out of here.
All right, man.
Greg Gray, what one book do you, Joe, and Raul do you recommend?
Look, man, last time I recommended a book. Now there's some dude out there acting like he's some sort of expert. But either way, this book right here was recommended to me by Alex Gontis himself. And I also recommend it. In reality, what is being there you go. Yeah, yes, Breeding Better Dogs. Yeah. It's by Carmelo L. Battaglia. But in addition to that, they're really talking about brackets. Dude, Lloyd Brackett, breeding back in the 50s. Really, really good stuff, man. Anybody, regardless of what breed, could get a lot of good information from there. And let me give full credit to Mr. Alex Gontas. I hope he's watching. Nothing but love.
Yeah. Mr. Battaglia, Carmen Battaglia. Yeah, I talked to him the other day, actually.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah. So
he wrote the book, man. So yeah, you went straight to the source.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be coming on.
Good stuff.
What is your oldest dog?
My oldest dog right now is Azu. She just turned 8. Unfortunately, she was just diagnosed a month and a half ago with cancer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, it's terminal. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. This live interview is thank you.
Thank you, Miss Shaytree. Nothing but love.
Let me see here. Have you done protection work with your bullies?
No.
Or has anybody done it? Okay.
No, I don't do it with my dogs.
Right.
I don't show my dogs how to protect nor how to hunt or anything like that.
Right.
I'm not a trainer.
The companion breeds.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we got, when do we see the official standard of the breed?
Man, I mean, that's something that's above me, man. That's something that needs to be asked to, Dave Wilson from the ABKC. He'll be able to answer that a little bit better than me. I kind of feel like the stud book should be getting closed.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm not the one that's running it. I feel that the fact that we don't have a breed club, it kind of, we don't have that check and balance in place.
Right. Well, guys, I want you guys to go over there to Raul's YouTube page. It's a wealth of knowledge over there, and he gets real specific on some things. I didn't get into it. I just wanted to have more of a formal interview with him so y'all can get to know him a little better. But he got some heat over there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Any closing remarks?
Nothing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I like what you're doing. One of the things I love about your platform, Joe, is you don't come out here lying to people, acting like you're something you're not.
Oh, no.
You let people know, hey, man, I'm learning and I'm trying to, and the truth of the matter is, I don't care how much you think you're always going to have to learn. I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like I know it all. I'm not the sole owner of the truth or anything like that. But the fact that you're keeping it real, good stuff, man. Keep doing it.
I'm too old to do it otherwise.
Same here, man. I wake up in the morning, I forget how to fake the funk, and you're just going to catch me lying right then and there.
That's right. All right, everybody. Hey, go over there, show him some support. and make him come back over here, and we get specific on some different subjects if y'all want to. All right, man.
You got it, man. Hey, no more love, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, man.
You got it.
All right, see you later. Bye.